Hey everyone, it's me, Josh Masters. I'm so glad you're here. This week's devotional is called The Most Important Comma in Human History. But before we get to that, I just want to remind you that we'd love to have you comment below. There's a textual version of this devotional on our website, www.joshuajmasters.com, where you can also sign up for our mailing list and get updates on our blog. We'd also love to have you check out our Twitter, @JoshuaJMasters. We also have @TheBatPastor. And of course, Franklin the Pup, who is the subject of our latest manuscript, has to have his own Twitter, so his is @Franklin the Pup. So please check those out, comment below, and engage with us. We'd love to know what you're doing. As I said, this week's devotional is called The Most Important Comma in Human History. And we're looking at that because this week celebrates National Grammar Day. So before you light your punctuation fireworks off or fire up the grill to cook those exclamation dogs, let's take just a few minutes to consider what may be the most significant use of grammar in human history: a single comma in the English Bible. Now, it was common in the days of Jesus for teachers to read from scrolls containing the scriptures, or what we now call the Old Testament. And this was a form of teaching. So while in the synagogue one Sabbath, Jesus takes a scroll and he searches for a very specific passage in the book of Isaiah. And then he begins to read from the book of Isaiah, and he says, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me, because he has anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set free the oppressed, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." Remember that last line, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. And then Luke continues to say, "He then rolled up the scroll, gave it back to the attendant, and sat down. And the eyes of everyone in the synagogue were fixed on him. And he began by saying to them, 'Today, as you listen, this scripture has been fulfilled.'" And that's Luke 4:18-21. So by declaring this prophecy fulfilled, what Jesus is doing is actually proclaiming himself to be the Messiah. He is the one that will preach the good news to the poor. He is the one that will set the oppressed free and bring sight to the blind. He is the one to bring God's favor. But the thing that's so incredible about this moment is that Jesus rolled up the scroll and stopped reading in the middle of a sentence. He stopped where we would put a comma in the English language. Because the full sentence from Isaiah actually reads or continues, "To proclaim the year of the Lord's favor, comma, and the day of God's vengeance." That's Isaiah 61:2. And then he goes on in that passage to explain that vengeance of God is going to bring comfort to those who mourn. But why does God stop at a comma? Why does he stop reading in the middle of the sentence? It's because the first part of the sentence is in reference to his first coming, and the second part of the sentence is in reference to his second coming. It's because he won't fulfill the prophecy of God's vengeance until he comes again. So the incredible truth is that we live inside a comma of mercy. Jesus could have come with judgment the first time, but he holds the end of this sentence in reserve so more people can be brought to him. The entire church age is inside that comma. Everything that God accomplishes through our lives is inside that comma. Our entire lives are nestled in one breath in the center of a sentence. Jesus holds off on reading the rest of that sentence for a purpose. So knowing that, how will you make your role in that comma significant? Comment below. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll see you next week.